Hello. In this video, I'm going to be allocating materials to jobs. So these are jobs that have been processed. They've created a material requirement on the back of that processing, and I have that material in stock, and I'm going to allocate that stock to the job. This is available on both the Redthorn SP system and the main system, and I'll be demonstrating it from the SP workflow. The forms for this sit in inventory management, stock, allocation, and it's the case on the main system as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to allocate a material. Now note at this point you can purchase specifically for a job and that'll be automatically allocated. You can also backflush materials, so if you complete a job and you have set a material to backflush, it'll be automatically allocated when the job is complete. In this instance, I'm going to manually allocate, which is really the most common way of using the system, that and preferential purchasing. So I've got the full list of materials to be allocated. I could search this in any way, so I could look for a material code and allocate a big batch of materials. In this case, I've got a couple of jobs I want to start, so I'm going to allocate the material to those jobs. So I'm going to use the binoculars. Oops. And I know they are 272 jobs, so I'm going to do that, run the binoculars, and you can see I've got 3 jobs awaiting allocation. They each have 2 materials waiting to be allocated each, and that happens as same materials. As you can see, I've got available in full for all of these, so I could allocate them. If they had preferential purchase order against them, the text would say so. If it was available partially, it would say so. If it was not available, it would say so. If you're using offcut management, you can use some offcuts, and that'll be covered in offcut management, which is available in the main system. In this case, I can allocate them all. If I wanted to partially allocate, I could actually just put partially allocate, and I'm going to check to allocate. The rest I'm just going to check, and as you can see, it'll just fully allocate that. It'll allocate them on the first gin, the earliest gin, but I could also, if I had multiple gins, go and select which gin I'm going to allocate from. You might find for the 30 diameter I have a number of gins I can choose from. So I can choose which gin I allocate. So this one I'm going to allocate from this particular gin number. So I'm going to check them all, and that is all those items allocated. Save that, and it will give me an allocation report. There we go. Close that, and there we go. So if I search for those now, I've done the same thing again there, 20072. It's not found the 3 I was working with. Oh no, it has. Sorry, it's found one of the 3 I've working for, because if you remember, I only partially allocated. So it's telling me now I have 1 required because I allocated 5 of 6. So it's done it correctly. And in this case, I'm going to finish the job on that. Wait for it to run the report. There we go. Close that. And now if I search again, this time I won't make the mistake of not knowing what's on my... it's found no matching records, as to be expected, because I no longer have any requirements for those jobs. So the other thing I can do is I can allocate an unplanned material. So here, clear out the query mode. I can unplanned and allocate. I can allocate an unplanned material. So I'm going to do that 725 job, and I'm going to say I'm actually going to allocate this 40 bar, and I'm going to do 0.25 of that and allocate. So I've allocated an unplanned material. That material will be seen in the job costing, so there's no problems there. It just allows you to ad hoc allocate materials. Take note, the stock must exist. If the stock doesn't exist and you want to allocate an unplanned material, the best thing to do is create a requirement for it in requirements, create amend material requirements, and then it will put that onto the material the material procurement report and prompt the buyer to buy that material, and then they can allocate it for the job. So save that, and that material has now been allocated to the job as well. So that, in summary, is material allocations. The next video will be creating and amending those allocations, or reducing and removing those allocations. But in summary, you use this screen to make all material allocations to jobs.